I'm going to look at another dream-focused film, which is Inception, which is a very different film from Nightmare Detective. Nightmare Detective had a budget of very little money, set in Japan, and it had limited resources and did some wonderful stuff with it. This is a film that has a budget of God knows how much. It's all on the screen. There's tons of great stuff on the screen. I just rewatched it in 4K. It looks beautiful in 4K. If you try to watch it, 4K is the best way to watch it. It's wonderful the details you can see in the film. But I'm going on to the film, and obviously it's a film that is well liked by lots of people. I know a few people who don't like it, but most people like it, at least enjoy it, to a certain degree. It's kind of a heist movie within the logic of a dream. And but it's not as unique as this fan would tell you it is. I mean, we've had Nightmares and Dreams before. I mean, Nightmare Detective came out about 2 years before this, and for me did a lot more with the dreams than Inception does. Inception is much more distant emotionally for me than Nightmare Detective. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street did a lot with this kind of thing. Dreamscape did a lot with this kind of thing. A few years before this film came out, Femme Fatale was released, directed by Brian De Palma, released by Warner Bros. Who released Inception, so it was the same studio that did both of them. And it was all about dream logic and dreaming within dreams and redemption within dreams and it's similar things. It was also set by water and people off bridges. Some of it took place in Paris. It was a very film noir influenced. There was a lot of crossover. I don't think it was a rip-off of Inception. I think Inception. I would have been very surprised if Chris Nolan hadn't seen Femme Fatale. I don't think it was just a lazy rip-off. It's just like it's a story on a film with a similar theme that this film went a different direction with. But there were some crossovers, which makes it interesting. That's it. I'm sure most cynical ones would say, I ripped it off, but he didn't really. It's just similar things. There were similar things like ideas of overflowing water and, the trauma of dreams and things. I've done a video on Femme Fatale, it's on my channel, so I'd also recommend you go see that one. Inception is a very enjoyable film. It's not my favourite Christopher Nolan film, but it's one I really enjoy. It's definitely kind of in the mid-tier. I mean, I think Tenet is trying to follow the same kind of feel as this one, the kind of film noir, with weird kind of dreamlike logic, but that would take place in time travel rather than actual dreams. But I had the same kind of feel like I'm going back to that kind of area, and so did Memento, that same feel of memory, but also noir and stuff like that. So, Christopher Nolan goes back to certain things and comes back to them. He's always did the Batman films, which, if you see the channel, is not my favourite of his. My favourite of Nolan's films is still The Prestige. It's still easily my favourite. Also like Interstellar. I really like Dunkirk. Actually, I really like Tenet as well. I really like this one, but it's just not up there compared to some other ones. I like this one better this time than I did before. Because the thing that always got me with this film was I liked the first 2/3 of it, and then the last third I thought kind of went a bit off the rails. Which it still kind of does, but it's not as much anymore for me. When you see it in the proper, with 4K, certain things are more clear. And I think some of this directional thing, I think the last third is the most sloppy the film gets direction wise. There's some things going on there that you don't quite follow. I'm not going to bother about spoiler or non-spoiler in this one because it's a famous film that made a lot of money. Most people have seen it. If you haven't seen it, why watch this? Right, so obviously the plot is DiCaprio plays a guy who can go into dreams and steal information from dreams. He and his pal, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, are the ones who do this. The film starts them trying to do this on Ken Watanabe. They fail, they get caught by him, but he says that this wasn't a failure, he was just trying to test how good they were. Like he was teasing them in, he knew they were coming after him, so he made sure they couldn't get information. But he wanted to see how far they could go, because he wanted to see if the skills could be used on someone else who wouldn't know they were coming after him. And he wanted to add an idea rather than steal some ideas. And the idea was basically once that this big magnet, like a Rupert Murdoch type of guy, he's dying, and they want his son to actually break up the company rather than making it bigger. So it's one idea, and they have to find a way to convince him in his dreams, in his subconscious, that he should break stuff up rather than go wider. So they're really messing around with his head and his willpower, which is a serious part of the movie. It is a crime what they're doing. It is really dodgy, you know. But it's a crime, yeah. But it allows the film to be a heist. So you get the heist. So you get the first third is setting up. Then we're going to Watanabe, setting up the logic of the dreams, and then we're going to the bit where he brings together his team. So he does the recruiting section where he brings together the guy who controls the drugs for the dreams. Then you get the guy who also knows dream security and things and can defend people from dreams if the subconscious of the dreamer strikes back. Because that's a real problem if someone's been taught defense within dreams, which is a nice little thing, an idea. And then also the architects of the dreams, because you need the architects so that they control what the dreamer's saying, so you can place them in the right direction you want them to go. And then you have DiCaprio running it, and you get Gordon Levitt as basically the guy who's doing all the little bits and bobs throughout to make sure it runs like on time for everything. I think Kevin and Abby Nolan as well. So we've got this little team that are going to go into the dream. And chaos ensues. So the first half of the movie essentially they set up the idea, set up the team, and develop the idea that DiCaprio's traumatized. His wife died, and he's been set up with her murder. He really didn't do it because she thinks we're still dreaming. So you've got to see this kind of noirish guy in this dream, this little dreamscape, trying to escape it and trying to find his way home. And you've also got all these supporting characters who get to choose the scenery. With Tom Hardy, who pretty much steals any scene he's in, as he wants to do. Your Ellen Page as the person, the newbie, who has to ever explain to her. And you've got all these weird characters. No one's got that much depth, because the swindlers of these dreams, you're never quite sure, even in the film you're watching, is set within a dream. So the first layer of the dream could actually still be a dream. So with that kind of thing, sort of ambition. And then the second half, then into the dream, and then we're layers of dreams. So you've got his more conscious level, then you've got a level below that's more subconscious, and a level below that's more subconscious, before you can implant the idea. Because you can't implant it in an obvious way, it has to feel like it's something he thought himself. Which allows for lots of fun. And it allows for like problems. It says the defense capabilities are much higher than they thought. He's much more aware of the chances if he's going to manipulate his dream. They have to figure this out as they go. They find that it's stuck in his dream, and because the drugs are so high that if it goes wrong, they can't pull themselves back out unless they finish the mission. So it's a mission movie. It's a man in a mission movie, a heist movie, and a dream movie. So it's all very enjoyable. But you kind of feel a lot of something that's shortchanged. The idea of DiCaprio and his wife is a good one. It creates a noir feel that actually works quite nicely. But that's one of the things really done in depth. The rest of the things are very much done to be a fun genre film, which Nolan does well. They are a lot of fun, but none of the other characters have that much depth. But there's enough depth to them to get from A to B quite easily. The problem, there's two kind of problems with the film that either push off the film or you can embrace it. The first problem is it doesn't feel like a dream. It's shot in a very logical way, and you have to accept that we're not doing the Elm Street thing in this film. They're not doing that. It's shot as a thriller, so you can get pulled into the film as a film. It's also a film as a dream logic thing. So you've got that, and then they blow things up, and they put things back together again. The world can get twisted in weird ways because of a dream. That's like one potential problem. But I think most people go over that and realise it's not literally a dream, it's using conceits, and they're stretching it to a certain degree to make it easy to watch the film. They're not going full Nightmare on Elm Street. The second problem is they have to have an action ending. And that's the bigger problem, because when they're going lower and lower within the dreamscapes to the subconscious, the first two levels are good. The first level was him where all security is, and try to get below that level quickly to get to his subconscious. So that works really nicely. It's a nicely done sequence. The next scene is in a hotel. That works out really well. He's very paranoid. He's not quite sure, because the guy is trying to work out things, and they're twisting him and telling him in a dream, and really manipulating him. So it's like a dream within a dream, and it actually works well within that. But the third level is an action sequence, which is like a riff on Magic Secret Service, which is set in the snow in this icy Swiss chateau, and it doesn't have any dream logic to it. It's just as an action scene, and you can't follow it because you're jumping from person to person, and you don't know what any of the motives are. You don't know who any of the where they're trying to get to for what reason. It's always very blurry. It's much more blurry when you first see it. The more you see it, the more you can work it out. But for the emotion you're looking for, this is unsatisfying. And it remains unsatisfying, so it always pulls you out the other two levels. It pulls itself back though, because it's into an even further level, a fourth level of this one manipulated dream, where the character that Cillian Murphy plays, who's the target, goes to the fourth level into the pure subconscious, and have to go and get him out of that one, and that's the dream level that DiCaprio had set up, which is much more nightmarish and weird and things, and that's much more like a actual dream. And that works so much better, because you see the history of dreamscapes that DiCaprio has been setting up throughout the film and hinted at. It has a real sense of awe to it. But there's just this one level in the middle, which is very much an action level, and it's like, it doesn't work. It's just unsatisfying. And they blow all that stuff up, but it's only explosions. It's not really satisfying at all. But the other stuff around it works really well. But it's just this one bit that just comes out at the wrong time, and it's like, it's a Nolan problem, especially his messy action when he doesn't need it. I mean, he's built towards something, but he needs an action scene, and sometimes he just goes too far, and it's like, you don't need this. You really don't need this. Kind of the same problem. There's lots of action at the end, and some of it was a bit messy, and you're like, why are you doing this? This is confusing, and not in a good way. It's not in a way that feels intentional. So there is that problem. It's not much you can do about it. When you watch it, you just have to accept it. It's like, because the rest of the film is much more simply done. It's much more, even though there's explosions and things, they're contained from dialogue scenes and things like that that actually explain them, explain the dream logic of them, and you get a sense of your orientation, and a lot of the stuff's about character and setting up the world. So you get to proper action, it starts out well, but when you get to this one level, it becomes a problem. You just feel like, just don't do this. This is destroying the mood of the entire film. You have all these other sequences going on in slow motion, and because each level of dreams go at a different speed, because so you have something off a bridge very slowly, and in the next level you've got jokes on level, because his world's been shaken by the dream. He's spinning round the world, really. He's spinning round the corridors and things in really nice shots. Very much a homage to Kubrick in 2001, some of the tricks he did there. And then this third level just doesn't seem connected to that at all. And it just is very unsatisfying. But they pull themselves right. They get to the heart of the problem with the Cillian Murphy character. They get to the heart of the problem with the DiCaprio character. They resolve all the threads and leave us with an ending which seems kind of happy, but there's also an ambiguity of, are they still dreaming? Was this whole film a dream? of a guy who can never go home, or what is it, or if anything happen, which is quite nice. Oops, just knocked it again. It's quite nice to see all that. It's very enjoyable to watch, rewatch. I still prefer Femme Fatale. You know, I don't think it's a much better film. But this is a good film. It's just, there's a bit of sloppiness. That it's what you get when you have an auteur director who is in the studio and he'll just let him do what he wants, and there's only to say that one bit of the film isn't working. It's the problem with Nolan, because sometimes no one tells him that doesn't work. Or someone important enough tells him that does not work, you need to try and find a different way around it. There's a problem with a lot of later films, there's always little bits that don't quite fit in, and it's like, you could have lost 10 minutes quite easily and you don't lose those bits, and the pacing suffers because of it. It's just a problem he's got now, because he's such a big director and he's viewed as an auteur. Even though he's doing very much mainstream films with a twist on them, he's viewed as an auteur. I keep on knocking this thing. He's viewed as an auteur by the studios. Not an auteur in the same way a Kubrick really is, but that's how they view him. So they'll let him away with stuff that maybe they should say, that's a bit weird, can we sort that? But I mean, that's my view of Inception. That's my double bill of Dream Logic films. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back soon with another video. Right, bye for now.